what if I told you there's this company, right, building AI that's just as powerful as what like Google and Microsoft are working on,
Okay.
but they're doing it for a fraction of the cost?
Wow, really?
Yeah. Sounds unbelievable, right?
It does. It makes you wonder, like, who are these guys and how are they pulling this off?
Exactly.
Like, what's their secret?
That's what we're going to deep dive into today.
All right.
This company, they're turning heads.
Yeah.
They're building something called a reasoning model.
A reasoning model.
Yeah. Have you heard of that?
I've heard the term, but honestly, I'm not entirely sure what it means.
Well, it's basically like AI that can solve problems,
Okay.
but it does it in a way that's more like how humans think.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so instead of just like, processing language,
Right.
it actually breaks a problem down into smaller parts,
Okay.
and then it figures out the best solution.
Like step by step.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
And get this company's claiming that their reasoning model is just as good as the ones coming out of the big labs,
No way.
but they built it for way less money.
Okay, now I'm really curious.
All right, so are you ready to dig in?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Okay, so this company, they're not based in Silicon Valley.
Oh, really? Where are they?
They're in China,
Wow.
and their name is DeepSeek.
DeepSeek, I've never even heard of them.
Yeah, they're kind of new on the scene, but they're making a big splash.
So who's behind this company? Like, what's their background?
Well, the founder, his name is Liang Wenfeng,
Okay.
and he actually comes from the world of finance.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, he co-founded a hedge fund.
A hedge fund. So how did he go from hedge funds to AI?
Well, it seems that his hedge fund was actually using AI in a big way.
Ah, so he already had a lot of experience in that area.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
And now with DeepSeek, it seems like his goal is to push the limits of what AI can do.
I see. So what are they specifically working on?
Well, they have two main systems.
Okay.
One is called V3,
V3.
and that's their large language model.
Okay.
And then they have R1, which is the reasoning model.
Oh, so R1 is built on top of V3.
Exactly.
That's pretty clever.
And here's the really interesting part.
What's that?
Both of these systems are open source.
Really? They're just giving it away.
That's right. Anyone can use them, modify them, distribute them.
Wow, that's a bold move.
It is. It's a big deal, especially when you consider the size of their models.
Okay, how big are we talking?
Well, their V3 model, it has something like 671 billion parameters.
Okay, for those of us who don't speak AI,
Right. Sorry.
what does that actually mean? Like, what are parameters?
Basically, parameters are like the variables that the AI learns during training.
Got it.
The more parameters, the more complex the model.
Okay, so 671 billion, that's a lot.
It is. But to put it in perspective,
Yeah.
we're hearing that OpenAI's model could have 1 trillion parameters or more.
Wow. So DeepSeek's model is significantly smaller,
Yeah,
but they claim it can still compete with the big guys.
that's what they're saying.
Yeah.
And then there's the cost.
Huh. The million-dollar question.
Literally.
Okay, how much did DeepSeek spend to develop this thing?
They claim they trained V3 for just $5.6 million.
Seriously, 5.6 million.
That's what they're saying.
That's insane. I mean, compare that to the billions that Western AI labs are spending.
Yeah, it's a huge difference.
If that's true, that could totally change the game.
Absolutely. It would make AI development way more accessible.
It'd be a game changer for startups and smaller companies.
For sure.
But I gotta say, I'm a little skeptical.
Yeah.
5.6 million sounds almost too good to be true.
I hear you. And there are definitely some people who are raising eyebrows.
Right. Like who?
Well, there's been a lot of talk about the type of computer chips DeepSeek used.
Okay, what about the chips?
So, the U.S. has those export controls on advanced AI chips going to China.
Right.
DeepSeek is saying they used older NVIDIA chips for their breakthrough.
Ones that are allowed for export.
Exactly.
Okay.
But then you have Alexander Wang, the CEO of Scale AI.
Oh, yeah. I know him.
He suggested that DeepSeek might have actually used those banned H100 chips.
Oh, wow. So he's saying they might have cheated.
Well, he didn't say that outright,
Right.
but he definitely hinted at it.
Okay, so what did DeepSeek say to that?
They denied it, of course.
And what about NVIDIA? They'd know what chips were used, right?
Yeah, NVIDIA actually came out and backed up DeepSeek's claim.
So they said they were using the older chips.
Yep, the export-compliant ones.
Okay, so it sounds like a lot of he said, she said.
It does a bit, right?
Yeah, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of conflicting opinions.
For sure.
It's hard to know what to believe.
And then you have these big names in the industry weighing in with their own takes.
Oh, yeah. Like who?
Well, Palmer Luckey.
The Oculus guy.
Yeah, he called DeepSeek legitimately impressive.
Okay.
but he also questioned that $5.6 million figure.
Oh, so even he's skeptical.
Yeah, he suggested it might be like a tactic to influence the markets.
I see.
And then there's Scenareal from Netmind.
I don't know that one.
They provide access to DeepSeek's models.
Oh, okay.
She believes DeepSeek's explanation makes sense.
Even if the cost isn't totally accurate.
Exactly.
Wow, so it really is all over the map.
It is.
Some people are impressed, some are skeptical, some are somewhere in between.
Right.
This is a wild story.
And it gets even wilder.
How so?
Well, there's this allegation that DeepSeek might have copied OpenAI's technology.
What? Seriously?
Yeah, Vinod Khosla, the billionaire investor,
Yeah.
he kind of hinted at this.
What did he say?
He pointed to some similarities in the errors their models make.
And what about OpenAI? What's their take on this?
OpenAI has expressed concerns about DeepSeek potentially using a technique called distillation.
Distillation, what's that?
It's a way to essentially steal the knowledge from another model without permission.
Oh, wow.
So they're saying DeepSeek might have ripped them off.
That's a serious accusation.
It is, and OpenAI says they're investigating.
So this is like a legal battle waiting to happen.
Potentially, yeah.
Wow, this DeepSeek story just keeps getting more and more interesting.
It does, and we haven't even gotten to the really big questions yet.
What do you mean?
Well, regardless of whether DeepSeek's claims are true or not, their emergence raises a really important question.
What's that?
Could this be the start of something called AI commoditization?
AI commoditization. I'm not familiar with that term.
It basically means that AI becomes more widely accessible and affordable.
Okay, so not just something that only big tech companies can afford.
Exactly.
So like a democratization of AI.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be huge.
It would be. And if DeepSeek's success with the open source approach is legitimate, it could really be a game changer for the whole industry.
Yeah, instead of a handful of companies controlling the most advanced AI,
Right.
we could have this whole ecosystem of developers pushing the boundaries.
Exactly.
That's a really exciting thought.
It is. And there are some big names who agree with this idea.
Oh, yeah. Like who?
Well, there's Jan LeCun.
He's the chief AI scientist at Meta, right?
That's right. He sees DeepSeek's achievements as a testament to the power of open research and open source development.
So he's saying that DeepSeek's success benefits everyone.
Yeah, basically.
This is fascinating.
It is. And,
Yeah.
what's really interesting here is that we're seeing a real clash between two different philosophies of AI development.
Oh, you mean like open source versus proprietary models?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a fundamental difference in approach.
It is. And it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out.
Totally agree.
Because the choices that companies make now,
Yeah.
they're going to shape the future of AI and how it impacts all of us.
For sure. This DeepSeek story, it's just the tip of the iceberg.
I think you're right about that.
We're just starting to see the potential of AI and the debates and challenges that come with it.
And we're going to keep digging into all of this right here on the Deep Dive.
I'm ready for it. Let's keep going. So this idea of AI becoming more like a commodity,
Yeah.
it's pretty mind-blowing when you think about it.
It is. It really challenges the way we've been thinking about AI development.
Totally. Like for so long, it's been this exclusive game.
Right. Just the big players with tons of resources.
Yeah.
But open source AI, that could really change everything.
It could level the playing field, right?
Exactly. It would give smaller companies, researchers, even individuals a chance to get involved.
It'd be like the early days of the internet.
Yeah, when anyone could create a website.
Right. And we saw this explosion of creativity and innovation.
Exactly. And that's what's so exciting about open source AI.
The potential is huge. But I guess the question is, how do we make sure it's used responsibly?
That's the big question, right?
Yeah, because with any powerful technology, there's always the risk of misuse.
Absolutely. And AI is no exception.
So how do we mitigate those risks?
Well, I think it starts with open and honest conversations.
Okay.
Like the one we're having right now.
I like that.
We need to be talking about the potential downsides of AI.
Yeah. Not just the shiny, exciting stuff.
Exactly. We need to be realistic about the challenges.
And develop safeguards, right?
Absolutely. We need to be thinking about things like ethical guidelines.
And regulations, maybe?
Potentially, yeah. It's going to be a complex process.
For sure. But it's essential.
I agree, because the stakes are incredibly high.
They are. The future of AI is literally in our hands.
And it's going to impact all of us.
Yeah, this isn't just some abstract tech thing.
Right, it's going to touch every aspect of our lives.
So we need to make sure we're steering it in the right direction.
Absolutely.
So coming back to DeepSeek,
Yeah.
It's fascinating how they've kind of thrown a wrench into everything.
They have. They've really shaken things up.
Yeah, regardless of whether their claims are completely true or not,
Right.
they've started a really important conversation.
They have. They've forced us to confront some really tough questions.
Like the whole open source versus proprietary debate.
Yeah, that's a big one.
And it's not just about DeepSeek and OpenAI.
Right. It's a fundamental question for the whole industry.
How do we want to develop AI?
Yeah, who gets to control it?
Exactly, and who benefits from it?
These are questions that we need to be asking.
And answering sooner rather than later.
Absolutely, because the choices we make now are going to have a huge impact down the line.
I think DeepSeek's story is a wake-up call.
I agree. It's a reminder that the future of AI is not predetermined.
It's something that we're actively shaping.
And we need to be mindful of the choices we're making.
Because those choices will have consequences, for better or for worse.
I think that's a great place to leave it for now.
Yeah, a lot to think about.
Definitely. But, we'll be back
Of course.
to explore these questions and more right here on the Deep Dive.
Looking forward to it.
Feels like we're standing at the edge of something really big,
Yeah, definitely. DeepSeek has really thrown a curveball and gotten everyone talking about where AI is headed.
And for those of us who aren't, knee-deep in AI every day,
Right.
what does this all really mean? How does this DeepSeek thing connect back to, our lives?
Well, think about how much AI is already part of your daily life.
Okay.
The stuff you watch, the things you buy online,
Yeah.
even just driving around, AI is kind of everywhere already.
It's like working in the background almost.
Exactly. And as it gets more and more powerful, well, that impact's only going to grow.
So this whole open source versus, was it proprietary?
Right. Proprietary.
That's a big deal, though.
Huge, because it determines who's calling the shots with this incredibly powerful tech,
Yeah. And who benefits from it? Right.
Exactly. Will AI be this force for good, helping everyone?
Mm-hmm.
Or will it just make the gap between the haves and have-nots even bigger?
That's a big question.
It is. And honestly, it feels like we're at a crossroads right now.
Yeah, which path are we going to choose?
Right. The choices we make today, the research, the ethics, all of it will shape where AI goes and what it means for us as humans.
It's kind of daunting when you put it like that.
It is, but it's also exciting. We have this chance to shape one of the most powerful technologies ever.
It's been quite the deep dive, hasn't it? We've covered the controversy, the potential, the big what-ifs.
Absolutely, and it's so clear that this is only the beginning of the story.
Yeah, the future of AI is being written as we speak, and we all have a part in that story.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
This is the Deep Dive, signing off. Until next time.